Hey guys, welcome to our Monday night call. And I still cannot believe that I am just still leading these calls. For almost 10 years, I've been leading these calls, and it seems super crazy, but awesome and all the feels. Used to do it every week. So now when I have a chance to talk, it's like a special treat. So anyways, I just wanted to share some of the things that I have learned as the most important things for growing our business, no matter what rank you are. Whether you have one person on your team or 50,000 people on your team. I have over that amount of people on my team. They're not all business builders, that's product users too and everything, but those are the amount of lives that I personally have been able to impact through the law of multiplication, through reaching one person who reached one person who reached one person. And so many times, especially if you're silver or gold or maybe ruby or emerald, you'll hear like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Like, I don't know how you do that. How are you leading 50,000 people? I'm not. I don't talk to all of those people. I so wish I could, but I've grown my business the same way, from silver to gold to ruby to emerald to diamond and beyond. I've been a diamond, I think, for over 6 years now. And I've grown my business the same ways across all of that. And actually during some of the hardest times in my life and in my personal life, my business doubled. That is residual income. That is what you guys are working towards. I was putting in the same amount of hours, the same amount of work as I was as a silver, but I was getting paid, and still am getting paid, way beyond what I was then. So your paycheck, it's different than like a 9 to 5. Like the more hours I work, the more I get paid. But with this, you work consistently and steadily doing the same things, and your paycheck is going to continue to grow. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I've grown my business with 5 kids under the age of 8. Now I have 2 teenagers, 2 preteens, and 2 little ones under the age of 2. I've grown my business through so many phases. I've been married. I've been a military wife. I've been a truck driver's wife. Now I'm a farmer's wife. I've been single. I've been through abuse. I've been through all of the things. I've homeschooled. I've had lots of time on my hands. I've had 0 time on my hands, but I've always made sure to prioritize my business and set office hours. That is how you're going to be able to grow your business to diamonds. And through every single rank along the way, if you can prioritize and if you set your office hours and stick to them and work consistently, that's how you're going to be able to grow your business consistently through kids going back to school, through the holidays, through summer break, through all of the things. You're able to fit it all in. One of my favorite analogies is the glass jar, where you have sand in one pile and your golf balls in the other pile. If you fill your life with all the sand and all the little things, the laundry, the dishes, the runny noses, all of those little things that you have to do that are very monotonous, very mundane, if you fill your life with all those little things, you're not going to have room for the big priorities, whether it's your business or your religion or your marriage. You have to prioritize the things that are really important, and you do those things first in your life. Maybe it's waking up and working out. Maybe it's doing your personal growth. You get to decide what you do in your life. And strangely enough, there's still time to get the laundry done, or still time to read an extra book to your baby before bed, or whatever it is. There is time to do all of the things. You can have both. You can have a very happy family life, very good marriage, be a good mother, and be a boss babe. You can have all of those things, but you're going to have to prioritize and work smarter and not harder. I wouldn't be doing this business if it was complicated or stressful or overwhelming. I am able to make it what it is because I'm the boss. I'm in charge, and you guys are all the boss of your own businesses, and you are in charge. It doesn't mean that residual income doesn't mean that you don't have to work. Like, oh, I'm just collecting a paycheck on all the work that I did 8 years ago. That is not what it means. What it means is I get to set my hours. I have freedom, not freedom to just collect this paycheck. It's the freedom to be the boss of my own business so that I am able to hold myself accountable and do all the things that I need to do. Even when I was gold for 2 years, I was stuck at gold for 2 years. And then I hit senior gold in June of 2015. And 9 months later, I hit diamond. But even those 2 years, when my business wasn't growing, I worked exactly how I work today. I worked smartly on all of the things that were priorities. And I did them consistently every day. I didn't have a bad day and then, oh, I'm not going to work today, or I'm taking this week off. I didn't have any of that. And as a mom that grew most of my business as a single mom with 5 very little kids, there were bad days. But when nap time came, everything else waited. The kitchen could have Play-Doh all over, the laundry could be piled up, but my business was a priority. My kids were still a priority, so I was still putting them to bed and eating every single meal with them. I was still homeschooling them, but those little things, it's okay if your laundry isn't folded for a couple of days. Everyone will survive. That's not going to matter in eternity. So I focused on what was important, and my business was important. I was building a legacy. I was creating the life that I wanted my kids to have. Today, they're able to focus on building their own businesses without the thought of money being an issue because I worked hard. That also taught them work ethic and determination and all of these skills. So building a business was for my kids. Even when I said, hey, mommy has a call, you're going to sit and read books. That's good for them. I'm not into child-centered parenting. I am the parent and they are the child, and it is good for them to sit there and have quiet time. Shh, mommy said be quiet. You're going to play with your Legos. I'm going to work on this call for tonight. And that's okay. That's still being a good mom. Yeah, make time for them to be bored. So important. But we're not going to get into parenting here. So what do you guys need to do? How do you need to work your business? What are some practical things that you need to be doing as a silver through a diamond? Doesn't matter what your rank is. First, it starts with belief. And y'all probably knew that I would say that because it's so true. You cannot have anybody follow you if you don't know where you are going. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get workers. You're not going to be able to get your spouse's buy-in. You're not going to be able to get your children's buy-in. Nobody is going to believe in you if you do not believe in yourself first. And that's something that we learn along the way. It's not necessarily, oh, I wake up and, oh, I believe in myself. There'll be struggles, there'll be doubts along the way. But that means when a negative thought comes in your mind of, ugh, I'm never going to be a diamond. Look at my points. No, we don't look at your points. We look at where you're headed. We don't look at what you see today and be like, this is who I am. Because that's not, your present is not who you are. It's where you are heading and looking to the future and just constantly vision casting for yourself and thinking about your dream life and what you want for life. Those are the kind of things that you're going to do to build belief in yourself, and people will follow that. If you know that this business is not in vain, if you know that putting in the hours isn't in vain, you are going to actually do the work. It's not your upline's job. It's not your downline job. It's your job to own your business and to put the hours in and to do the things. So ask yourself, how am I holding myself back? And rate yourself on excuses, on negativity, comparing, being an overly perfectionist type of person. I struggled with that too. Like, no, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Getting perfect or getting better at something is going to come through practice. So ask yourself in those areas, busy work, that's the other one. Are you thinking you're working all day long, but really you're not doing anything that amounts to something? You're like, oh, I've been doing this business for a year and I'm still gold or whatever. Are you really doing the things that it takes? Are you holding yourself back? Are you afraid to reach out to people? Are you afraid to lead a call? Are you afraid to speak up on book club or share your thoughts or share your heart in a post? You need to have belief in yourself. You need to stop comparing. You need to have belief in the company and belief in the products, belief in network marketing. You need to rate yourself. Where are you in that belief? That means you're not going to have any doubt about the products. When someone comes to you saying, oh, the product didn't work, well, the problem isn't the product, the problem is you. So let me help you. Let me help you get results because I know these products work. That is a rock solid belief, and you have to have that in what you are doing. So the second point would be activity and skill set. You need to learn how to become an expert in network marketing. That's what you're doing. You're doing network marketing, so expect there to be things that you need to learn and learn how to do them better. And as time goes on, you will get better and better. I started with no clue what I was doing. No clue, no system, no network, no nothing. All I had was a dream and belief, and that belief literally came from my sponsor telling me that mutual friends were making $5,000 a month. And I was like, shoot, sign me up. That sounds great. I can make that from home. I know these people. I know that she's being successful in this and that's her paycheck. I'll take it. That's what I want. So no one told me what to do. What I did was watch and study successful people. That's what I did. I just watched. What are they doing? Who is being successful? Who has the success that I want? And what are they doing? And how can I have that? And that's how my leaders learned too. They just watched what I did and copied what I did. And they took that and they went and they did those things for their business. You don't need someone telling you what to do. And to be honest, we have so much information out there. It shouldn't be complicated. You should have all of the things to do. You just have to do the things. We really don't need any more team calls. They're all recorded. You could watch them and you could be a diamond if you actually put into practice the things that we are saying. There is so much available. We did not have any of this. We were the leaders. We were the ones stumbling and trying to figure it out. And you guys have no idea how good you have it with all of the information that you have. But you can have information overload if all you're doing is listening to trainings and you're not putting it into practice. So don't get bogged down by it. These are the things that you need to do. I'm going to give you a very small list of the things that you should be doing daily. The thing too with daily activity is you need to track it. You need to have a planner. I still have my planner. I still use my planner. I still write down in my planner, whether it's digital or something you can hold in your hands. You need to write down and track your activity that you're doing every day. You need to track who you're sending samples to, who you're reaching out to, who you're following up with, when it's time to follow up with them, who started on the products, who you're doing coaching calls with. You need to be tracking these things because you need proof to yourself that you are doing the work. If you have a blank calendar, nope, this one's not a blank one, but if you have a blank one and there is nothing written there, you're not working. You can't ask your sponsor why you're not ranking up or why your points are going backwards, because the reason they are is you're not doing the work. If you put in the work, you will reap the reward. You need to have daily attention to your IPA, whether it's making your office hours, whether it's 2-hour chunks, an hour chunk, 4 hours at a time, an hour here, an hour there, time blocking, 15 minutes at the top of every hour. However it is that you work, I don't care. Whatever works for you works for you. For me, as soon as the kids went down for naps, I knew I had 2 hours. If they woke up early, which happens with kids, as all of us moms know, they got to sit by me with a pile of books. I was already prepared and I was already ready for them to potentially wake up, but that wasn't going to interrupt my workflow. And then after dinner, hurry up, get the kitchen cleaned up, maybe do some calls, and then I would sit them in their bed. They could have their quiet time, and then when it was bedtime, they would go to sleep, and then I'd work for 2 more hours. And then I do little things throughout the day, but I had very set hours. Those were the hours that wouldn't change. I did those 4 hours no matter what. And then if I fit in extra things, sometimes I might work an extra hour or 2 here or there. If I had a long car drive, I would get on the phone with somebody from my team. I would do coaching calls. Sometimes I would do extra if I could, but those 4 hours were a non-negotiable. I did not schedule anything during those times. So how the work that you need, there are 3 skill sets that are needed at all ranks. You need to be doing your IPA, which is reaching out, following up, and posting. That's it. Those are the things that qualify as income producing activities. The next thing is you need to be doing your personal growth. You need to be growing. Team calls, reading books, audiobooks, those things. Those are your personal growth things. And then the third thing, see, there's only 3 skill sets, is team building, coaching your team, being a leader, which again is just talking to your people, pouring into them. This is at silver, this is at diamond, doing the same thing. One person on your team, 50,000 people on your team. It does not matter what your paycheck is. These are the things that you need to be doing to be growing. Because if you're not growing, you will be going backwards. The Slight Edge. I love that book, by the way. Okay, I already talked about the planner. How to work. For me, it goes God, family, and then my business. What that means is that I fit my business into my family life. My family still comes first. By working my business, my family comes first. I'm not stressed out. I'm not yelling at my kids all day. I am a good mom, although sometimes I don't feel like I'm the best mom. And like any other mom, I put my kids to bed and I cry at night because I feel like I failed them in some area or another. Same with being a wife. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect at all. I have tons of books that I should be reading and need to be reading to continue to grow in those areas too. But working my business is still a priority. I will hear so often, like, I couldn't get my work in because I was so busy with my kids, or I was busy with this or busy with that. And I just feel like I can't be a good mom and grow a huge business. I don't know how you did it. This is what people will say to me. And again, it's just prioritizing and setting those office hours. I didn't really do a lot of stuff for myself when I was growing, and my team was just growing the fastest. So when we were deep in momentum, which was amazing, and we still have momentum, but there was a phase from probably ruby to diamond, and I was like, "Whew, it's a little overwhelming." But I didn't go and get my nails done during that time. I didn't sit and watch movies at night with my husband, or I didn't waste a lot of time. Everything I did was very for my family or for my business. So if it wasn't cooking, cleaning, laundry, reading stories, homeschooling, I was growing my business. I didn't sit around a lot and waste a lot of time. And I think that's important for anybody to look like, am I wasting time? Am I just scrolling on my phone? And then I'm saying, oh, I'm too busy with my kids, or I need to spend time with my husband. I can't work my business. That's an excuse, and that is self-sabotage. You are sabotaging yourself and your growth and your business by saying, I'm too busy, when you just wasted an hour or 2 or 3 doing things that are not going to add up to anything. So I talked about that. Learning good time management, I think, is really important as people who are our own bosses. We have to be able to manage our time, because I really do believe that we can have it all. It might not all be perfect. I definitely had the days of full sinks, and my laundry basket had laundry that wasn't folded. When I was going for diamond, I was not willing to sacrifice and order Domino's pizza, still making it from scratch, but my laundry was not in the dresser drawers and it was not hung up. And that was just a fact of life. I was willing to let my laundry get a little less than perfect because I was growing a business and I had belief and I knew that it was going to be worth it. Duplication at all ranks is so important. Duplication is one of the most important things that you can do. And I think that for this business, the best book that you can read, this is for silvers and diamonds, is 21 Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. That book is so good. It talks about everything that you need to know in order to grow a successful business. The law of multiplication, if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you need to get the book. But it just really spoke to me at Ruby. I was like, this is what I am doing. This is how I can grow my business from 1 person to 200 people or 1,000 people or 50,000 people. I never sat down and said, I can't wait to have 50,000 people on my team or 100,000. but I knew it was possible. And I knew in order to be successful and still run my household and be a good mom and be a good wife, I had to focus on how I was going to duplicate and how I was going to multiply. So in this business, simple is the key, because simple is what duplicates. I could teach anybody to do what I am doing right here, right now, today, and a silver could go and do this. That is the beauty of this business. And I do that by building width. First and foremost, width. So a lot of times I will get asked, who do you work with? How do you know who to work with? Well, you work with the people who are wanting to work, and that's definitely like a whole call in and of itself, but you need to create width. That is the most important thing that you are trying to do, is get those people who want to do this with you and lead them. And the way you know you are leading is if people are following you. If no one is following you, you need to go back to that book, 21 Laws, and you need to look and see what areas you need to improve on and where you need to grow. So if you don't have workers, or if you've been doing this a while, I would ask you to look at yourself and see, how are you holding yourself back in those areas of excuses and busy work and all of those things. Because if you can get yourself to Ruby, there's no reason you can't get yourself to Emerald. You just have to be working longer. So Ruby is 3 times Ruby is Emerald, 1,500 points. So look at how you're holding yourself back. And then you need to know where you're going, and that is vision, that is belief. If you know where you are going, people are going to follow you there, no matter where it is, whether it's off a cliff or, into oncoming traffic, like whatever. If you are confident and you are bold in where you are going, they're going to follow. It's not hard. Somebody asked me yesterday, how do you get people to follow you? Well, you have to be going somewhere first. And I think that's just the biggest thing. My other favorite book, if you haven't read these 2 books, you have to read them. The 21 Laws and then 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth. It's so good. It helps you know who to look for, who you want to build this business with, and it helps you become the kind of person that people want to follow. It's character. It's having good character. I could go on and on about that, but we're going to run out of time if I do. So if your points aren't moving, you're either not working enough, or you have been stuck, or what, I hate that term stuck, but you are stuck in personal growth. Like, you need to get unstuck by doing personal growth. You need to grow yourself. If you grow yourself, your business is going to grow as long as you're doing the IPA. But if your points are going backwards or your points aren't going forward, I'm not saying you have to work 10 hours instead of 2. I'm just saying you need to work consistently. You need to prioritize the work you should be doing during those 2 hours that you have. Time and time again, my leaders will come to me and say, how can I get everything done that I need to get done in 4 hours a day or in 2 hours? All I have is 2 hours right now. What do I need to do? And I've been able to move my business forward through really, really hard times, through chronic illness, health challenges, just so many things. And there have been so many people in this business who have done the same. And that's because we prioritize, and that looks different through many different seasons of my life, but nothing changes in the fact that I have office hours and I stick to them. So let's see. Probably gonna need to skip some of the stuff because I have a lot of notes, you guys. I took 5 pages of notes on this. So you need to focus on making some lists. Lists are great because it gets it out of your brain. My sister calls it brain dumping. You just need to brain dump. Get it out of your head. My planner sits on my nightstand by my bed so that I can write things down so it's not in my head. So you need to write down, make a list of weak spots in your business. Don't sit here saying, I suck, I'll never be diamond. That's negative, and we're not going to talk like that. But don't sit here not knowing your weak areas either. You have to know where you're weak in order to grow in those areas. If you just sit here struggling, you're going to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again unless you work towards change. So let's see. You need to work strategically to improve. You need training and you need books, and then you need to trust the process. That is probably the most important thing that you can do. If you are doing the work, trust the process. Don't trust the process that one day you're going to eventually win the lottery. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing the work consistently in a strategic way. Don't do the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. That is not good. But if you are growing and stumbling and making changes, I heard someone say that you should try to do one thing that's uncomfortable every day. It should make you uncomfortable, and that's how you know you're growing. Look at our kids as they learn to walk. They're falling. They're getting bruises. This is how we know that they're going to move forward and move past that. But if they never try and they don't do the things, they're never going to achieve the skill set that they need in order to be successful. So don't hold yourself back, and you need to do the hard things to move forward. So where you should start is ask your sponsor or coach or someone who is doing better than you in this business. Usually it's your sponsor, or maybe a couple levels up, maybe it's the closest jewel upline or your closest diamond upline, but ask them to give you 5 areas, just 5 areas that they see that you can improve on today. They might say something like, some of the things my sponsor told me, that I had a lot of negativity. And she told me that a couple times, and I was like, that's not me. And I talked to my downline, and I was like, my sponsor's crazy. Like, she is crazy. I am not negative. And we'd have our little fest there of how we're not negative. But when I was really ready to grow and ready to change, I was like, Lori says I'm negative. Okay, let's find some books on that. We are going to work on this. I'm not going to let that negativity hold me back. Whatever little bit of negativity she sees, it is gone. I'm done with it. I want to be a diamond. I want to be successful. She told me I needed to read some books. I said, okay, I will order all the books. She gave me a list of 5. I ordered them that day, and I started reading. This is how you know you are hungry for change. When your sponsor says, hey, you need to work on this. Your posts are attracting the wrong kind of people. Or, hey, you are just flat out not working enough. 10 minutes a day isn't going to cut it, honey. Let's try to do an hour. Let's try to be consistent with that hour. You need to do some work. Don't get all defensive. You need to be humble. Natalie just said it in the comments. You need to be humble enough to take the criticism. And it is so hard. We will put so many blinders up so that we do not see our own faults. But when you ask someone else, this is something good to do with your husband too. I've done it with mine, and I'm getting ready to do it again. Hey, what are 5 areas you think that could make our marriage better? Like, what can I work on? You know, it might be hard to hear, like, I don't think so. Let's discuss that one. But if they're saying it, you might want to dig really deep into why they are saying it and then apply those things. My other thing was letting go of excuses and stop comparing. I had to stop comparing. Why is she diamond and I'm not? Why are they doing so much better? Why are they in Hawaii and I'm not? As soon as I let go of comparing and just trusted the process and started working on my list of things instead of being negative and wondering why I wasn't diamond yet, etc., then my business was able to grow. So that's your homework. Get with your sponsor, get with whoever is doing better than you in this business, and ask for 5 things that you can work on to actually grow your business and move it forward. We'll see you guys later. That's all I have.